Hi everybody, welcome to another episode of Shakey's Cricketing and Sports Journeys. Real special guest today, joined all the way from, normally I would say sunny Barbados, but we had a chat just before we came on the recording, and it's wet in Barbados today and the sun is shining in Glasgow, Scotland. Welcome to the show, Tino Best. How you doing, mate?
Man, it's an absolute pleasure to be here with you, my brother. Absolute pleasure.
Lovely to have you. You know, you've been really... I was introduced to you by a mutual friend, plays for Scotland. I played for Scotland with Majid Hack. He pinged you a message. You were very kind to give me your time. And it's been so easy to book this in with you. So I really appreciate that. I just want to give the viewers a quick introduction into a little bit. I mean, most will know you, but I'll just, for the viewers that maybe perhaps don't. Tino Best played cricket for Barbados, Hampshire in England, Yorkshire in England, Mumbai Champs in India. Played for St. Lucia, Zooks, St. Kitts, and obviously famous for playing cricket for the famous West Indies. What he's known for is being exciting, some would say crazy at times, rapid, aggressive, fast bowler. And what I want to do is take you back. You were born and bred 26th of August 1981 in lovely Barbados. Tell me about your childhood, your family background, what it was like growing up in Barbados, bro.
Yeah, I mean, growing up in Barbados was absolutely amazing. I was raised by 6 women, my grandmother and her 5 daughters, including my mom. My father, on the other hand, he was addicted to crack cocaine, substance abuse. And I mean, I love my dad. I love my dad. It's just life and choices, you know, life comes down to choices. So my mom protected me from that life and that lifestyle. And I had the male figure in my life as a young kid was my uncle Carlisle Best, who played cricket for West Indies.
Legend. Legend.
So it was kind of it was really cool to have somebody so famous. I remember as a boy, my line when I meet people when I was like 7, 8, 9 years old, I would ask people, "Do you know who Carlisle Best is?" And they would be like, "Yeah." I was like, "That's my uncle," and that was my introduction. Yes. So as a young boy growing up, I was always very proud. Just growing up in Barbados, it was awesome. It was never stressful. It was just great. I mean, you could go to the beach. You could play cricket to the sun, from the sunrise to the sun go down. Yeah. It was just an amazing life. I just had an awesome childhood. You know, just living in the islands of the Caribbean, it was phenomenal. And I just had a real good childhood. Grew up watching West Indies, seeing my uncle on TV, and just wanting to get to that level, wanting to be famous like my uncle. So my childhood for me was absolutely brilliant. Yeah.
And obviously you mentioned that you were raised by 6 women. They must have kept you in line while you were growing up as a kid. You must have had, some strong women behind you, keeping you straight and narrow, which would probably help because, you can sometimes as a young boy, you can easily get led astray and, go down different paths. I'm sure they were there to always it's good to hear that they had a really good influence on you.
Yeah, I mean, most of the times people got this narrative that if you're raised by women, you're soft. Yeah. I was as tough as they come. I remember my mom was more like my father in the family. She was more like the tough cookie. So if me and the guys out on the cricket field or the football field or we at the beach and I got in a fight, and someone told her, she will always ask me, "Did you win?"
So that's what a dad would normally do. Mums traditionally would say, "How dare you be in a fight? What's going on there?" But she realized that she had to toughen you up.
Yeah, that was actually my grandmother. She used to be like the one worrying about me getting into fights. My mom was so ever come home and probably my eye here is bleeding or I have a little lump on my head. I was like, yeah, I got on a scaffold. She would ask, what happened? I said, he started. She said, okay, good. Did you? And she will always end it like, are you guys friends now? She's like, I said, yeah, we got it. We got that out of our system. And we were best of friends. So growing up as a young boy in the community that I was in as well, it was a very loving community. If the guys see the guys getting into a fight, you couldn't go for a rock. You couldn't get a stick. You had to fight like hand to hand. And what it did was help you build a character as well. So you had an identity, you felt strong. You felt like a boy. Yeah. Those are the things I remember growing up as well. I broke my hand like 4 times.
Mhm.
just running around, climbing trees,
Yeah.
and stuff. So I was a real boy growing up.
Yeah.
So being raised by 6 women was the most phenomenal thing for me as well. I learned my game from a woman. I learned how to work hard because of a woman. I learned how to save my money as a woman. I learned how to be a father from a woman. So I just have a lot of respect and a lot of love for those 6 women. And holistically, I have a lot of love and respect for women who always guiding their children in the right way and on the right path as well.
No, that's amazing to hear. You've got quite a childhood then. You know, you were a typical boy out there causing trouble, running around, getting up to no good. But, you know, that's what it's all about. Too many kids these days sitting in front of game consoles, you know, not experiencing the great outdoors. I mean, I was very much like you. I just wanted to be outside, always trying to play sports, getting in the odd scuffle here and there. But, you know, the new generation need to be encouraged because let's not, I won't do the whole in my time, but the kids seem to be getting just a little bit softer as the years are going on because they spend way too much time being mollycoddled in the house. You know, you need to get out there and experience the great outdoors. So I want to move on. You know, when did the love for cricket, obviously your uncle, so you were born with it, but when did you start what was your first experience of playing cricket? Was it just street cricket, beach cricket? When did you start what was the kind of route into cricket for you?
For me, it was when I was about 7 or 8 years old. We used to play something called tape ball cricket.
Yeah, like in Pakistan, same as Pakistan.
Yeah. We grew up on that. Playing in the middle of the road, playing on the hard courts. It was awesome. And I remember as a boy, you had to bowl to get a batting. So that's why I got to be a bowler. Like a lot of guys, when I go back to my neighborhood back where my grandparents are, they will always say, you know, like, you were a better batsman than you were a bowler.
We'll get on to talk about some of your batting performance.
Yeah.
So it's amazing. You clearly could bat.
Yeah. So one of the first experiences, I was about 8 years old, and we used to play against the older guys, like the big men. We used to play cricket against big men. And all my mom used to say to me was, make sure you wear your box. That's all you could have worn. Protect your possession.
Your crown jewels.
Yeah. So I remember one evening. This is when I think I was very determined, and I was never afraid of being smacked around the park. Most of the times when you're growing up and you're playing against the bigger boys, and one of the bigger boys are like hitting you for 4, smacking you around. If you give up, the older guys will pull you up and say, you need to be more determined. So I remember one evening, I got this guy out, and I felt so good. And the next evening, this guy hit me for the biggest 6 I have ever been hit for in my life. I was about 8, and up to this day, I still remember. The man lost the ball off of me.
Yeah.
And I started to cry because that's how far the ball went. Yeah. But I didn't give up. I just keep coming. I just keep running at him. So I'm 8 or 9 years old, and I'm trying my hardest to try to get him out. I didn't care if he hit me for another 6. Yeah. And I remember at the end of the evening, because we start playing about 3:30 in the evening, right after school, till about 6 in the same evening. And the guys after the guys having a drink or some water after, and the guys looked at me and said, "You are your mother's child." I was like, "What do you mean?" He said, "You are so determined. Yeah. Like you don't care if you were being smacked about. You was just keep coming." And I think from a young age, I was never wanting to give up. I don't care what people say, like, you know, you're no good, you're too short to bowl fast, you would never get to be, and people used to throw this at me a lot.
I can imagine.
You would never be as good as your uncle. You would never be as good as your uncle. You would never play for West Indies like your uncle, and so forth and so forth. That even gave me more impetus to work harder and be more determined. So that was like as a kid, that was like the first time that I knew that I wanted to be like a real cricketer. Like I wanted to be like my uncle. So I think that would be the first time that I really knew what I wanted to be, when I was like 8 or 9 years old.
Yeah. Do you think that story you tell about the bigger lad that hit you for the big 6, I can imagine, knowing what I know of you now, watching you as a cricketer, you must have kept running in as fast as possible. Do you think that that's where it started, starting from the I want to bowl fast? Because I need to beat him by pace?
Yeah, for sure. And I remember, like, I would ask the older guys, like, how you bowl fast? And they would always say, like, do more push-ups, do enough pull-ups. So that's why it comes right back to why I am into now. So from a young age, 9, 10, I always loved push-ups. I always loved pull-ups. I always loved to train. So from there, that determination and that willpower, that mind power was always there, because you don't want people to criticize you for the rest of your life and call you like, oh, you try to be like your uncle, but you fail. You know, yeah. I want to be more famous than my uncle. And I that's something I put in my kids. I said, you don't have to be a cricketer. I just want you to be a awesome human being. Like, strive to be better. Yeah. And I think that is something my mom always instilled in me. And that's where I think determination. I think that's where that started for me. That determination from my community, like all that support from my community, playing cricket every evening, trying to be the best cricketer that I could have been. I think that is when it really started for me.
So when did you break into like what was the kind of first regional kind of things, regional teams that you got into, junior cricket, representative?
Yeah, man, my story, bro. My story is a crazy one, bro. In terms of breaking into cricket, I'll carry you back to when I first really started. So when I was playing as a young man, so I'm at school now, so I'm like 13, 14.
Yeah.
I got invited to the under 15 trials. Got cut after the first trial game. Because we have trial games before we can pick the Barbados under 15. I was good enough to go trials, but I couldn't make the team. I got cut after the first game. Okay. I was cut, and I remember one of my very good friends, Ryan Paul. He made the team. I was so happy for him, and he did. It was called I think that would have been the Carib Cement on the 15 tournament in 1995. Okay. And yes, I was disappointed, but I wasn't discouraged. And I just tell Ryan all the best. I make sure I watch the news to see the scores. And, you know, when he came back, I was super excited to hear how he talked about the other guys in the Caribbean, because remember our original cricket players, like from on the 15 level to on the 19 level to the first class level. So the same 16s, the big four, Barbados, Jamaica, Trinidad, Guyana, Leeward Islands, and Windward Islands. And anything that had something like the development team, which would have been like the USA development team, or just a 11 a West Indies board 11. And I couldn't make the Barbados team, and I wasn't disappointed or discouraged. I just knew I had to work harder. So speeding forward about another 2 years, I joined the BDF sports program. What this organization is basically a military program which has 5 disciplines: boxing, football, cricket, table tennis, and athletics. Okay. So the guys that when you join, they go back to the communities and try to pick guys from each community that kind of like on the border, that good enough to be in the program, but not that good. But they're gonna mold you into what they want you to be. So I joined. So I joined at 16. So I was in the BDS sports program, working my butt off, bring water. I wasn't again a regular player, but I was working hard. I was working my butt off. Fast forward 3 years later, I get the opportunity to go to the under 19 trials now. Like, yes. Yeah. So before I could even play a trial game, I got cut. Turned up at the practice facility, and got there late. Not because of me, but because of you can't really leave the Army program as you would like. So when I got there, I got disappointed. The coach said they don't like tardiness. They're not going to encourage anybody coming late. So I'm not a part. I like, whatever, cool. Got on my bicycle, about to leave the cricket center. Saw a couple of guys come in, and I was like, I thought they say that they don't like people coming late.
Yeah.
Realize that those are the two guys who opened the batting, so they could have done anything they wanted.
Ah, okay.
So,
Politics,
yeah.
man. Early politics in life.
Right. So I'm about 19 years old now. I'm contemplating to join the army full time. So I'm thinking to join the British Army, to go over to the British Army full time. Join the Royal Marines or something. I just want to go to Barbados. But I'm contemplating. That's at the back of my mind. I still want to play cricket for Barbados. Still want to play for West Indies. Still want to be great and famous like my uncle. 2 years later, so that happened when I was about 18. So 2 years later, I'm still in the army program. So this is like 2001 now. Yeah. No one knows who I am. I still working my butt off, bringing the water for being the 12th man in the BDF army. We got the opportunity to practice with the South Africa team.
Right, okay.
International team, yeah, like Arnold Donald, Makaya Intini, Darren Kelly, all the superstars.
I seen a picture actually the other day. Oh, was that when you met Makaya Intini? Because you look like a baby in that picture.
Absolutely correct, brother. Absolutely correct. So I go and practice with these guys, the army guys, because we are fitter than everyone else in Barbados. Like, we are the fittest guys. Yeah. And I went and bowled at the South Africans, and they absolutely freaked out. They were like, wow.
This guy's got pace. This guy's got
like pace. Graham Ford, Corey Van Zyl, who was the bowling coach. They were like, do you play first class cricket? I said, well, I've never played first class cricket. I'm in the army program. I bring the most water. They're like, or you guys have to be going bunkers. This guy is quicker than everyone in the Caribbean. What you see not? Yeah. So I got invited to trials for a Barbados team. So picture this. Didn't get invited, didn't make the honor.
So they must have, somebody from the South African camp must have spoken to pull a few strings for you there. Yeah.
Yeah. So basically what happened, Graham Ford went on a radio show, my uncle radio show, Bessa Mason. And he said the quickest and the best young cricketer he's seen in the Caribbean is this kid called Tino Best. Yeah. And Carly was like, yes, that's my nephew. Isn't he a batsman? He's like, no, he's a bowler, and I think he bowls about 90, 95 miles
But why did you, sorry to interrupt, but why did your uncle not know that you were like this tearaway quick?
Because my uncle knew that I wanted to be a batsman. I wanted to be an opening batsman for the West Indies.
And I suppose at this point you hadn't had any exposure to proper cricket, so nobody knew who you were.
Yeah, so I'm playing, so basically the army program, we play like club cricket. So we play club cricket in the Caribbean, in Barbados domestic league. But I used to bring a lot of water. I was more like a bowler. I was more like a batting all-rounder than anything else. But because playing ball cricket, it got me quicker. My hands speed got quicker. I just started to bowl faster. So when Graham Ford spoke about that on the radio show, I got invited to national trials. Because everyone wanted to see, like, who's this kid? Like, everyone is talking about. Is he really that good?
The water boy? They're probably like, are you talking about the water boy?
Absolutely, bro. I tell you, bro, my story is like a friggin' movie, bro.
Is it not, is it not a movie? Is it Adam Sandler movie not based on you then? The water boy?
Yeah. So what happened? They invited me to trials now. So Makaya Intini and Arnold Donald are basically freaking over how quick I'm bowling.
Yeah.
I got invited to the national trials. So this is Barbados first class team tryouts. So the first game, I got smoked, bro. I bowled something like 13 overs for maybe 80 or 85 runs. The last thing they did to me, I remember bowling a short ball at Dale Richards, and he cut me over the players' pavilion, bro.
Ooh.
And I remember at the end of that trial game, it was a 3-day trial game. I only got one opportunity to bowl. Yeah. But the pitch, the surface wasn't any good. It was absolutely slow. It had no pace in it. And one of the selectors called me for a meeting. And he goes, true story, bro. You get my book, you read this. He goes, you have talent. You have something in you. But I don't think you're ready for this level. You need someone to help you with your action and stuff. You're raw. You're just raw. but he's telling me this, but he's not advising me like
what to do.
Yeah, and he said I'm not going to be a part of the trials. Next week is the final trial game, and so I was like, okay, bro. I wanted the world to. I swear, at that moment in time, the earth open and take me in. I was devastated. I got on the van, the bus, and I went home. And it was a Sunday. My mom just finished cooking Sunday food, and I was teary eyed. I was 20. Yeah, I was just turned 20, and I was 20 years old and about 3 months.
Yeah.
And I just vented to my mom. She said, "Are you gonna let one person derail you from chasing your dream?" I was like, "Mom, but he's a selector." She said, "He's a man. You shouldn't let no man tell you what you can and cannot do." I was like, "But Mom, cricket is not like that. You gotta be." She said, "I don't care what you think. If I was you, I will go and practice with them still. Show them that you're interested." I was like, okay. I went and I practiced with the same Barbados trials, the same Barbados team on the Monday, the Tuesday, and the Wednesday. At the end of the practice on the Wednesday, remember, the final trial game is playing on Thursday, where the Barbados team is going to be picked. Sherwin Campbell comes over to me and he says to me, why didn't you bowl like that in the trial game, like in the nets? No one wanted to bat you in the nets. Like you were hitting everyone's stump. I said, well, that's the first time I've really played in a proper like trial game. I was nervous. Yeah. I was shitting myself, Sherwin.
Yeah.
He said, damn it. He said the selectors don't know how to see talent. They don't know how to understand people. And he was like livid. He said, this is what I want you to do tomorrow, Tino. I want you to travel with your wipes and your boots. I am the Barbados captain. Someone is going to pull up tomorrow. I know. I guarantee you. Trust me. Just come to the game. I was like, man, Sherwin, man, I thank you for the opportunity, but I don't think I belong. He looks at me in the most aggressive way. Young man, do you hear what I say to you? Come.
Yeah.
Like, okay. I was like, okay.
And just for the viewers, we're talking about Sherwin Campbell, opened the batting for the West Indies, scored 100 against Australia. The guy wore no grill. He was an old school batsman. I know him well, man. He was a class. So we're talking about a serious guy here.
Yeah, we're talking about we call him the master. The Ligue, we call him the master. So I go back to the military camp on the Thursday morning. I go to my adjutant, who's my sergeant major, and I said to him, yo, Sarge, this is the position. This is Sherwin Campbell's cell phone number. I'm not going to tell you any lies, Sarge. This is what's going to happen. He said, well, go to the game. If you don't get any play, I want you to come back to camp on Friday morning as normal. I say, okay, Sarge, no problem. I ride my bicycle, bro, as hard as I can. Ironically, the trial game is playing at the same ground that I got this from the under-19 coach at. Okay. So I'm saying to myself, this is deja vu. This is like 3 times I've been at this ground. So when I bowl at the South Africa team, it was at that same venue, bro. So I go back to the venue and I'm like saying,
mentally testing your mental strength then.
Yeah, I say, this has to be something to do with God, man. Like, I don't know what's gonna happen, but I'm a guy of faith. I'm gonna keep my faith strong. So the first session, so I watched the game. I didn't go around the dressing room. I went in the pavilion, went up top. I watched the game. I watched all the guys. I watched Fidel Edwards bowl fast. I watched all the big boys.
Yeah.
The first session comes, the second session comes, and it's tea time now.
Yeah.
So I said, you know what, man, frig this. I'm going home, man. So as soon as I'm about to leave the stadium, I go to Sherwin to say, look, thank you very much for like looking out for me. You know, like
yeah,
like, you know, my grandmother always say you should always respect people who try to help you. So when I go to Sherwin Campbell to say like, yo, bro, like, thank you so very much for even thinking about me. He goes like, did you bring your gear? Did you bring your gear? I was like, in front of all of the guys.
Yeah.
So I'm a little embarrassed.
Yeah.
So I'm a little embarrassed and nervous. I said, yes. He said, I need you to change because Ian Bradshaw said
Left armor.
Yeah, the left armor. Yes. Ian Bradshaw absolutely hates trail games.
Okay.
He hates trail games. And he goes like, Ian doesn't want to bowl in the game anymore. We're going to ask one of the selectors to bring you back into the game. So I'm saying to myself, I hope that is not the selector that told me I was cut. But it was a different selector.
Okay.
How ironic is that, bro?
Oh, mate, that's listening to that kind of, because I'm going to now ask you some questions because you've lined me up beautifully to take us into the next
but
stage.
Look, that's not even the end of the story. Check what happens, bro.
Keep going.
The selector said, "Oh yeah, bring him back in, Brady. Let Ian, because we call Ian Bradshaw Brady. Let Brady ice his knee and be cool, bro." I start to warm up, put my clothes on. Everyone is looking at me a little funny, like, you know, I'm feeling a little negative energy.
Who's this water boy? Who's this water boy getting
Yeah,
ready,
man. Like so guys are saying like he got kicked out of the trials. Why is he even being invited back in?
Yeah.
So I warm up at the T interval, I stretch, I close my eyes, bro. And I ask God to just like, it's a God, I don't ask you for much. Just help me to calm myself. Help me to just express myself.
Yeah.
So so Sherwin Campbell chose the ball was basically new because his team got bowled out in 2 sessions for like 140. You know how trial games go. The team is basically picked. No one is really cared about trial games. They just want guys to run around.
Yeah.
He throws the ball to me, and I say to myself, let's go, LeBertram. I run in about 13 straight overs. In that spell, I got 3 wickets for about 40.
Nice.
I hit Philo Wallace in the head. I hit a couple guys in the head. And Courtney Brown was like, wow.
Keeper.
That is the quickest.
This is coming through
keeper,
fast.
Yeah. That is the quickest person I've wicket keep to since Patterson Thompson. Not Patrick Patterson, Patterson Thompson.
Okay.
Right? He played for the West Indies. He only played 2 test matches. He was rapid, bro.
Right,
and
okay.
Everyone, my team that I was a part of, they clapped me off, bro. They were like saying the apple cart is messed up. I bowled so quick that day that everything fell into place. The TV cameras was at the game, bro. How crazy is that, bro? And everyone was like, wow, this guy, Tino Bass, like, who is he? Oh, that's Carly Bass's nephew. Like, people had to, like, resonate me know, like, saying, oh, that's Carly Bass. Oh, he's a cricketer. He has that in his bloodline.
Yeah.
But they didn't understand how tough it was for me.
Yeah.
And,
you saw it. They didn't know what you were feeling like when you came to the ground that morning.
Yeah. And as I walk off, the guys were, like, patting me on the back, like, bro, that's the quickest spell we've seen for the last 5 years. I went into the shower, and I was showering. I just started to cry, bro. Wow. I was just crying like a little boy, like, wow.
Emotions have just got they can boil over sometimes. Yeah,
it just boiled. I couldn't hold them in. I remember I rode back home that evening. I hugged my grandmother, and I told my grandmother, I think I've got half my foot in. She said, don't sit down. She said, go and work harder. Yeah. And things were I messed up the whole dynamics of that in that game, that they hold another trial game.
Ah, okay. Okay.
They hold another trial game, and they only made me bowl 5 overs. And called me off the field and told me, relax. Like,
you're in the team, man.
I was in trouble.
Chill now.
So, yeah, I thought I was in trouble when they called me off the field. So the guys came to me and said, yo, don't freak out. You're in the team. They're trying to protect you. They don't want you to hurt yourself. Congrats. So I was like, no one didn't tell me that. She said, look, this is how Barbados, this is how the politics work. You're in the 15-man squad. And everyone was just giving me a nod. And then like a day later or so, I made the team. And I couldn't believe it. I called my uncle up, and I was telling him, and I was talking, and then he said to me, you haven't done anything. You now have to work to get into the fun 11. Then you have to work even harder to maintain your play. And that is the story of how I got into the Barbados first class team, bro.
Yeah, listen, you know, the main people in that story, one, your mother, that day you went back to the kitchen and you sat there feeling a bit sorry for yourself.
Yeah.
And she dusted you off and said, get back out there. That could have been the end of you there. You could have maybe thought, no, this isn't for me. Sherwin Campbell, what a man. You know, I watched some of his knocks, some of his fighting knocks. He's a fine player. Great to know he had influence. You know, just so many people. Your uncle obviously kept your feet on the ground to say, listen, this is just the start of the journey, young man. Don't get carried away. But let's launch forward then. After that amazing, you know, child, that was brilliant to listen to, Tino. I love that. 25th of January, 2002, you got rewarded for all these efforts. You made your first-class debut for Barbados against Guyana. You took 4 for 50 on debut. What, like, that must, I mean, you talked about crying in the shower after that trial game. How was your emotions after that game?
Yeah, so basically, so what happened, like, the trial games played at the end of the year. So at the end of 2001, December, that's when all of this happened. So I'm in the Barbados squad. And we start the new year, the squad. I got into the final 11 because Fidel pulled his hamstring.
Right. Okay.
Because Fidel was bowling quick as well. Fidel was bowling sharp. Yeah, so Fidel pulled his hamstring. I got into the final 11, and I didn't look back, brother. I was like, focused. So my first game for Barbados, I never played in front of so many people. There were about 8,000 people for that game against Guyana. And I got 4 wickets. I got a wicket in my first over.
Nice.
My 5th ball.
Nice.
And my mother was chanting my name. My father wasn't in any way wrong, but I know my mom was there, my aunts was there. My grandmother was at work, but I had representation. So
yeah.
It was so awesome to see my aunts and my mom. And bro, I just couldn't believe that I was stepping out of my uncle's shadow. I was making a name for myself. And that is and every single game from that moment, brother, I just played hard. Sometimes I probably would be a little bit more exuberant, but I just played with so much passion, so much fight, because nothing was given to me. I had to fight for every single thing. So to actually play for Barbados and get a wicket in my first over, all those things with so much emotion to me. Like, sometimes I don't even believe I'm Tino Best that the world knows, because of how my journey started 20 years ago, nearly 20 years ago. So it was phenomenal. That first game, I remember. I'll give you a story about that game.
Go for it. Yeah.
So we got bowled out on the first day.
Okay.
We made 300 and we scored 300 in a day. We scored 300 and maybe 5 or 8, something like that. Over 300 runs. The manager was pissed because he didn't like the fact that we got bowled out, but he was a little satisfied that we got 300 runs. So when we were walking out, we had 2 overs to bowl the Eagles. And I give my hat to Steve Butner, the great Steve Butner.
Oh, legend.
Yeah. So when I give my hat to Steve Butner, he looks at me. So I'm like 5'8". I'm maybe like 5. I'm maybe growing like a half an inch since then. And he goes like, he looks at me a little weirdy. he sees Kobe Brown and the Slippers go by the 30-yard circle.
Yeah.
And he goes like, okay. See my run up, and I come steam in. First ball, Kobe Brown catch it chest height. He looks around and say, "What is your name again?" I said, my name is Tino Best. He's like, wow. That was only the first ball. When he saw the other deliveries, and then he saw the catch. So the left-hander, Hanny, he nicks the 5th ball to Floyd Reefer. Floyd Reefer takes it above his head, takes the catch. Steve Butler freaks out. He's like, wow. How old are you? Yo, how old are you? Like, I said, I'm 20. He's like, wow. All Steve Butler was saying is, wow. So for me, to have like a legendary umpire there at that moment, and to bowl that first over so quickly, I had the people chanting. The next morning, the Kensington Oval was packed, bro.
Nice.
Like, this is like
The word
15,000, like about,
traveled.
yeah, like that's when cricket was cricket in the Caribbean.
Yeah.
I mean, 2020 cricket brought back the crowds. But I'm talking about 4-day cricket when 4-day cricket was the bomb.
Cricket, man. That's the real
cricket.
That's real cricket.
The first ball I bowled the next morning was an in-swinging Yorker to Travis Dowling, out plump LBW. The whole stadium erupted, brother. I could see my mom jumping up. Like, yeah, so I had like, in the first 7 balls I bowled for Barbados, I had 2 wickets.
That's you named the man there that took your first slip catch in first class cricket. Big friend of mine, played a lot of cricket in Scotland. Floyd Reefer, character, man. He's a character. You know, he made quite a name for himself on and off the pitch in Scotland. You know, he was a legend on the field and a legend in the bar and in the nightlife as well. You know, the ladies love Floyd. I had some good times with him. Look, your career just started really roller coasting because you're talking about that trial game, and then you're talking about your first class debut, which is not that long. It's pretty much straight into it. You go on in that season, debut season, 17 wickets in 5 matches. You get your first 5-wicket haul. You've announced yourself. So you went from the water boy to a trial game to, and when you've got real pace, Tino, people are going to take notice. Real fire in your pace, because I remember that's when I came across you. First test match, 2003, versus Australia at home. You know, I just remember switching the TV on. There's this little bald-headed kid running in. Like you say, 5'8". I'm used to watching Curtly Ambrose, Courtney Walsh, Ian Bishop, Michael Holding, Joe Garner, Andy Roberts. The only one you can name who had similar stature to you is the late Malcolm Marshall. You know, the Caribbean is known for producing tall, like basketball-like fast bowlers. And then out of nowhere, we get the likes of Fidel Edwards, then Tino Best, Jerome Taylor, all of small stature. But I remember watching this kid steaming in at the Aussies, bowling at the likes of Justin Langer, Matthew Hayden, Ricky Ponting, Darren Lehman, Steve Waugh, Gilchrist. You went from that trial game to bowling at these guys, and you know what, you didn't look nervous. You were charging down the wicket of these guys. Okay, you didn't get any wickets in that game, but you were trying to kill them. Tell me about take me to that test match and tell me the story of that test.
Well, what happened for me after that debut season for Barbados, 5 games, 17 wickets, and I got my maiden 5-wicket haul. They put me on the 18 tour. So I'm freaking out, like, wow. So they're trying to fast track me to the next level, brother.
Yeah.
So I go on an 18 tour to England. And then after that, it was the Indian tour to India. And they wanted me to go to India, but people said, no, don't put me into that kind of environment. Let me play
those
another season.
The wickets don't suit a fast bowler either.
Yeah. So I returned at the beginning of 2003, and I got 40 wickets in about 9 games for Barbados.
Yeah, I've seen that. You were the leading performer in domestic when you got when your time came.
Yeah, so I won the Courtney Walsh Award. So I got straight into the West Indies team, straight against Australia. Brother, I wasn't intimidated. What I was pissed off about was the pitch. Steve Waugh even said it was the slowest pitch he's ever played cricket on.
Oh, dear.
And I mean, I was bowling like maybe between 85 to like 92 miles an hour. So because I never got any coaching.
Yeah.
No one ever told me about my action until I got to the international level, when you could have seen my action was all over the place.
Yeah.
So I was steaming in. I look, bro, I had all of my family in the stands, and that's all I wanted. I didn't care if I was playing against whoever. I was just excited that this little kid is playing for the West Indies. And I grew up around Kensington Oval. Like I grew up half a mile from Kensington Oval. Kensington Oval is my backyard.
So you watched a lot of cricket there. You read?
Yeah, I watched every single test match and every single first class match that ever played at Kensington Oval since I was 10 years old, brother. Mm-hmm. True story.
Mate, that is, you know, I honestly, I genuinely, I played international cricket for Scotland. I played some cricket first class in Pakistan. I am a cricket traditionalist. You know, I know my cricket, brother. And I remember that debut. and you were.
Yeah,
it was like you were more of a Olympic sprinter, just steaming in. Arms and legs everywhere, just trying to bowl as quick as possible. The Aussies must have been thinking, "Who is this kid, man? He's not backing down." Okay, you didn't get a wicket in that game. The pitch didn't support you, but you didn't look. It's like you say, you backed yourself. I mean, a lot of guys would have, maybe, Matthew Hayden, chest sticking out. He can be quite, it could be quite a big thing to take in.
Yeah, I played against all those guys as a kid playing take ball cricket.
Yeah.
I played take ball cricket, softball cricket. I was a cricket when it comes to cricket, I was like a cricket tick. Yeah. I love cricket. So I never played names. I would give anyone talk. Like I was never gonna back down from anyone. Because cricket is cricket. After the cricket, we are friends. But when we on that field, we are battling, brother.
I like that.
So it was like I was so excited. Like I want to see how good I was. I remember I hit Ricky Ponting edge straight to gully, and Shiv Narayan Chanderpaul dropped it. I didn't care. I was like, I'm playing for the West Indies. But what happened for me after that series? I got dropped for a whole year, brother.
Yeah.
But I mean, something incredible happened in that game. And I remember late on the first day, I was feeling down by the Holland Griffith stand. And a lady said to me, a lady yelled out, "Tino Best, you're the biggest disappointment ever." And she said she thought I was going to get wickets. I made her waste her day. This is a woman talking to me. And so Ricky Ponting cut the ball to wide third man. I run around the boundary, picked it up, got it back into the keeper, run up Ponting, coming for 2. And I laughed. And I said, never ever lose focus of why you are here, Tino.
Yeah.
You are at the top. They're going to try to kick you down. So I got dropped. After that series, I got dropped for a whole year. And Courtney Brown said something to me. He said to me, "Brother, in order for you to make back the West Indies team, you got to remodel your action. You need someone to help you." And Wayne Daniel, I went and I met Wayne Daniel just out of luck. I saw him in the food court at a place called Sheraton Center. And I walked over to him and I said, "Mr. Daniel, my name is Tino Best." He said, "I know who you are." And I was like, this is the great Wayne Daniel. 1,000 first-class wickets for Middlesex, brother. Wow. This is like a living legend in my eyes. And I explained my position to him, and he said, like, "I will help you for free, bro." I was like, "For real?" And every single day for a whole month, Wayne Daniel helped me tremendously through training camp. I started back the 2004 season. The only person that got more wickets than me was Pedro Collins. He played 10 games, got 44 wickets. I played 7 games and got 39 wickets, brother, because of Wayne Daniel helping me bowl. And I got back into the test team against England. I got the most wickets against England. And I was just,
So your first
started to say.
Your first test wicket, great player, left-handed, Graham Thorpe, I'm a left-handed batsman. So it was somebody I looked up to when I was growing up. I loved the way he played. He had that flair, almost like Caribbean and Pakistani style. He had those wrists. But what a scalp to get. You went on and you were the leading wicket taker in the series with 12 wickets. So that was kind of
7 drop catches. With 7 drop catches. With 7 drop catches.
That could have been. I mean, your first scalp should have been Ricky Ponting. We thanked Sherwin Campbell earlier on. Come on, Sherwin, man. You can't be dropping Ponting, brother. That's it was actually
Chanderpaul. It was Chanderpaul.
Oh, Chev, man. What are you doing dropping it? Listen, 12 wickets in that series kind of announced yourself that must have proven to you that, listen, I belong at this level. I can do this here.
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you a story about Graham Thorpe. And his wicket, people always ask me, like, what is your best wicket? What? I always say Graham Thorpe, not because that he was like a phenomenal player for England and one of the best and the biggest heart. When I was in 1994, I think it was about 12 years old. It was me, Dario Haynes, who is Desmond Haynes' son, Carl Greenidge, who is Gordon Greenidge's son, Jason Lloyd, who is Clive Lloyd's son, So we were like the four little kids around the dressing room playing cricket. No one used to want to give us their bat but Graham Thorpe. Graham Thorpe used to give me his bat to bat with. So we used to be like playing like hand after hand with Graham Thorpe's bat. So to get Graham Thorpe as my first Test wicket 8 years later was brilliant. It was poetry in motion. I say, sorry, brother. And he just laughed.
You should have asked him. You should have asked him for his bat to keep at that point.
And he was so proud of me because he knew me from a kid. So me and he had this nice little relationship. He was always like shouting me out. So to see a little kid that he see knocking around the dressing room turned out to be who I am bowling in a Test match, 90 plus miles an hour at him. It was like I've arrived. So my story is so unique and so different. Like, I didn't come through the traditional system. I always got frowned on, looked upon, and I just believed in me. Like, when people watch this and see this, you've got to believe in yourself. Yeah. No one is going to believe in you. You've got to believe in yourself. You've got to keep working hard, and you just have to keep fighting. You just have to fight, brother. And that's what I did. I just continued to fight. And you have to love the game as well. Like, I've always loved cricket.
You could see that whenever you got on the pitch, man, you seem to just be like a kid in a candy shop.
Yeah, I always tell people I play cricket for free because as a kid, all I used to play cricket for is to get a cold glass of water after. I used to play cricket from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. And the only time we break was to run home for food and to run back to the cricket field. So where I lived, I'll give you this quick. So where I lived next to like a school. So where we lived, our community was like surrounded by a secondary school. So we had like a free play park, a free place to play cricket. And the security guard, he always loved the kids from the community because we never came to vandalize the school. We just came to play cricket, basketball, football, whatever recreational stuff. That was the hub. That was the neighborhood hub. So the only time in there had no kids is when we go home for lunch. We were back in there all the time. So our summer vacation was either playing cricket in the school or at the beach. So I was a proper kid. So I always had that determination, always had that fight in me, that dog in me, brother. I was always a fighter. So even when I try to say to kids, you got to have that mindset if you want to be great.
Listen, great advice. You know, I've got something wrong. I've got this thing that's wrong with me, Tino. I'm a bit like you. I get excited. So tomorrow, for instance, I'm meant to be launching an episode with a great legend of South African cricket, Omar Henry, which I'm going to launch. Yeah. I'm going to launch.
Left hand spinner.
But left hand spinner, first coloured player to play for South Africa after apartheid. So, and I've got some really, really good guys waiting and good recordings in place. But it's Friday night, and I'm thinking, listen, I might just get this uploaded tonight because this is fire. I'm loving this. We're having a good, this kind of energy is, it's infectious. People will love it. So I might just, I'm meant to, people keep saying to me, keep your content. I'm like, you know what?
I'll tell you something too, right? Someone who has also been very instrumental. I don't want to forget him as well. I remember just before I got invited to trials, in 2001.
Yeah.
2001 was a very crazy year for me. So I had the opportunity to bowl against the South Africans in April 2001.
Yeah.
In September 2001, that same year, I got invited to play against. We got this thing in Barbados called the Pro-Am, where the English professional cricketers, all the county players, they come down to Barbados and they play like teams. So it's more like an end of season drinking for those guys and like enjoying the island and stuff. And I got to play with the Keith Medlicott 11. Remember Keith Medlicott from Surrey? Yeah, Meadows. And in my team was Gavin Hamilton, who played for Scotland as well.
You need to watch my episode. I've already done one with the legend. You and Gav must have got on like a house on fire.
Wait, I'll give you the story. Gavin Hamilton and Ed Gittings.
Giddings, for England.
So I opened the bowling with Ed Giddings, and they used to freak out. They were like freaking out, like how quickly I bowled. So Gavin Hamilton, he gave me a pair of Nike boots, cricket shoes, brother. I love him for that. I kept them as long as I had them for about 10 years, the dry rot. And I remember Gavin and Ed did this article, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna screenshot the article from my scrap, but I'm gonna forward it to you.
Yeah,
and
do that.
Two of them big me up. They say, look, I bowl 90 plus miles an hour. The local authorities need to give this young man an opportunity. Like, he is a diamond in the rough. And I always tell him all the time, brother, thank you for that little push, man. So there was a lot of buzz about me. So when I played that first trial game and I got roast, everyone write me off. Like, guys just talking funny about him, or everyone just likes him. He isn't that good. So it gave me more determination, brother. So I was always a fighter. So people would see me and say, oh, I had a bad attitude, this and that. Bro, I was just a dog, brother. Because my father wasn't around. He was probably somewhere high on crack cocaine. I just had my mother and my grandmother and my aunts helping me to fight. So I was always a fighter. So when people help me, I always try to talk about them and let the world know how great they are as people. So big up to Gavin Hamilton and my boy Ed Giddings for doing that article. I'm going to send you a screenshot when we come off to let you know those guys are solidified in my heart as real men. I love those men. Those are my brothers, brother. We're connected. We're connected by spirituality, brother. Those are good men, man. So, yeah, so I just needed to get in that little piece. Can't forget one more boy.
No, listen. We've still got a bit to go. I've got a few more things to get through with you. But, you know, I think you get bad press. There's a couple, you know, some people I think maybe think that you're like this outspoken guy. You know, you run in. Look, on the cricket field, people should never be judged on a cricket field if they're a good or a bad person. On the cricket field, it is war. You're there to win. You know, in club cricket here, you know, you give people chat, you get in their faces. They don't talk to you for the next year. You know, they fall out with you. And that you know, judge people when you walk over the line. If they're still not nice people, if they're still not nice people, then let them be. But you know, Gavin Hamilton, when he was on my show, he talked about Omar Henry, and he talks about, if I didn't have Omar Henry, I might never have been a professional cricketer. It's amazing when you bring these, how close the cricket family is, that you're now on this show and you're saying Gavin Hamilton was somebody that had an influence, and you will never forget that. I think some of the things that has really been great that you've talked about is one thing you talked about earlier. You said you never got picked for a regional team when you were 15, but your mate got picked and you were happy for him. That seems to be disappearing now. There's too much jealousy out there. There's too much people hate on people too much, and people they can't take real talk. If you try to tell somebody something good for their benefit, they think, oh, you're out to get me. You don't like me. You're this, you're that. You know, your mentality is, I have a similar mentality to you that I like when people just say it how it is, but they're, you know, and then when the years go forward, you sit down and you think the people that have helped you in your life, it's amazing to listen to you hear that. You're coming across like, I think the listeners are going to really love to hear you, but listen, let's move on. Let's get to some interesting moments, right? 2004, brother, a moment that invented the name of your book. You played in a test match. And you had a certain Andrew Flintoff at first slip. Now, Freddie's obviously got some great chat. I'd imagine he was quietly chirping away at you. And you seemed to be taking the bait. You were taking the bait. Now, what I find funny is you got a back injury that knocked you out the rest of the series. What I wanted to ask you, first of all, did that back injury come from how hard that you swung on that shot when you went down the wicket? Because Ashley Giles tossed one up. You took what seemed to be the bait from Flintoff. You charged down the wicket and you swung from the, you know, you were trying to hit that ball halfway across. I don't know what you were aiming for, but you missed it. And the famous chirp was given to you. I actually had a question from a young chap that asked me on Twitter. He questioned and said, please, a boy called Mark Williams, I want to name him for putting the question out there. He asked the question, please ask Tino about Mind the Windows, Tino. Freddie,
yeah, man. I tell you what happened. Me and Freddie were going at it from the series in the Caribbean. Right, I got him out one or two times. I think he got me back out. But I think it really happened like we were in Trinidad. I was bowling sharp. And I had no nicked off. I think Mark Butcher. Butcher was batting really well. Got him out.
Beautiful player.
Yeah. And Flintoff came out. As I got to the top of my mark, I looked around to mid-on and mid-off. They didn't have the ball, right?
Yeah.
Darryl, sorry, I just had a call.
Yeah, okay.
Darryl here still had the ball in his pocket. Darryl Harper.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, he still had the ball in his pocket. He said, play. So I was like, okay, let me have some fun. So I steam in without the ball in my hand, and I bowl it at Freddie. So Freddie's ducking for his life because he didn't see the ball. And he gave it to me, and I was like crying. And then he was like, ah, and I was like, whatever. So when we got to Lords now, I picked up an injury in the first innings, like my back. I put up a stress fracture, but I still had to bat. And when I came out, my whole leg was like dead. So I was telling Chef, bro, I can't really hang around. I'm going to try to play some shots.
Yeah.
And when I played against Ashley Giles in the Caribbean, I remember hitting for one of the best shots I've ever played. So he bowled at me in Jamaica. He tosses the eye chip, and I hit him straight back over his head, out the ground. And everyone freaked out. So every time I played against him, I will always use my feet and play, because I always love spin bowling.
Yeah.
So that day at Lords, he tosses up one. I kicked it away. Freddie said, mind the windows. So I didn't take him on. But I don't really rate Ashley Giles. I said, he's just steady. I mean, he's playing international cricket, so he's good. Don't get me wrong. He's good. He's great.
But he's no Sackland. He's not a big, but
yeah. So he's not Danny Vittori or anything. So I go like, I'm going to chip. The next over he bowls, I'm going to chip at it. So the next ball he bowls, I just chip, and I missed it, brother. And Freddie goes, and the famous thing, mind the windows. And after that, I was really, for like a year after that, I was real angry. Like, I couldn't believe that I let that man get me like that. And I always said I'm going to get back England. And then, like, it took me like 6 or 7 years. When we played in 2012, I said I have to get this little monkey off my back. So
you got a monkey off your back, man.
Yeah. So when I walked out at Eggbaston,
yes,
Matt Pryor, so he was chirping. I don't think he said anything. So Finn bowls this lovely length ball to me, and I go for a big shot, and I miss the ball. And all the slip carders start to laugh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dream Swan, I was like, okay, I see what's happening. I say, see, today is the day that I'm going to put the Mind the Windows tweet to best. Not the tweet, the chant to rest.
Yeah.
Bro, I scored 95 in a test match.
Yeah, batting at
I
number 11.
Yeah, at number 11. I told Ramden, hang tight, brother. I'm going to carry you on a roller coaster. And people ask me, like, why you scored 100? I said, I don't care about no 100. I got picked the ball fast.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because if you really check it, brother, like, if you woke me up that morning and you said to me, Tino, if you said at breakfast, Tino, you're going to score a test match 90, or you're going to score 5. What do you want? I was like, are you crazy? 90 in a test match? I didn't even care if I scored 99 in a test match, brother. I never played cricket for I played cricket for the value of cricket, brother.
Yeah.
The entertainment of cricket. So I remember when I was walking out to bat, Coach Gibson said, Bobski, because my nickname before was Animal. So they rebranded me Bobski.
Okay.
So Gibbo said to me as I walked down the set, he said, Bobski, give me 25. I said, no problem, coach. That's easy, man.
Yeah.
I say, easy, coach, man. I give him 75 more. So when you ask me about the 95, I think that is brilliant. I say, thank you. I don't care about scoring hundreds. If I scored 100, yes. But 95, brother, I'm thankful.
I watched that day. And
I remember, I'll tell you this
joke. You're on fire.
I remember going back down to London after that game, and I met up with my grandparents. And my grandfather, he was like, I'm so proud of you. I would have loved 100, but I don't care. 95 is brilliant. You're my grandson. I'm proud of you. He passed away 2 years ago at the age of 95. At 95.
95.
Died at 95. Yeah,
wow, man.
So,
Wow.
so I always say that the universe, brother, is connected in a magnificent way, brother. So I'm grateful that I scored a 95 in a test match at number 11 for the West Indies. It's still a West Indies record. I don't think someone is going to bracket. If someone bracket for the West Indies,
No, I can't. I mean, it got broken by an Australian, Ashton Agar. But
yeah, who's the number 6?
I cannot see anybody in the Caribbean anytime soon breaking that at number 11 in a test match. What a day of cricket! And if the mind the windows moment, it turned into the name of your book. So for anybody watching, this man is go out and buy his book. I'm not finished talking to him yet. I've got a few more things to cover, but buy his book. It is called Mind the Windows, Tino. I've not read it yet. I've read snippets of it. Looks very entertaining. After talking to you today, I can see why it's entertaining. I want to take you quickly to a few other moments. 2005, you played in a test match against my second country, the lovely Pakistan. And that was probably one of your highlight of your bowling performances. You took 4 wickets and 11 balls. You know what? You actually got Kamran Akmal out in a no ball. Did that fire you up to then come in even harder to then the wickets just started flowing?
Yeah, I mean that 2005 was a tough year because it was just coming off the injury from 2004, and they wanted me to remodel my action, the Australians, and I was not having none of it. I played a test match against South Africa, trying to bowl like Brett Lee, and I said to Bennett King, "I'm not doing that. If you don't want to pick me, you don't have to pick me." But Courtney Watts told me I need to strengthen my body even more. I needed to get my core stronger. And I remember they picked me back to the Pakistan series, and I just wanted to just go out there and show them that I am a test cricketer. I know how to bowl. And to play against Pakistan, you guys had a magnificent team. Izimam, Yunus Khan. Oh, man, that was a serious team, man. Shoaib Malik. And I just run
bowling wise as well, man. Wazi, Wakar.
I got 4 for. Yeah, I got 4 for 46 in the second innings, and I should have got 5 for, but it wasn't to be. But I was grateful, man. It kind of like gave me a big relief that I was back in the test arena. I was hungry, and I just wanted to do well. And I mean, for a long time, a lot of people said I was over the top with my exuberance and stuff like that. But bro, I was always just really grateful and real thankful to just be playing test cricket. Like being a little kid from Richmond Gap in Barbados to be playing for West Indies, a team that I used to watch as a kid, brother, I was thankful. So that was one of my proudest moments for the West Indies, to get 4 for 46 against a very strong Pakistan team. And that's something that I cherish and very grateful for, man.
No, mate, you should be proud of that kind of performance. Really, really, really amazing. And you went through a tough time then. It's safe to say you were in and out of kind of contention. You had injuries. You starred in a movie, bro, called Hit for Six. You played a Barbados cricketer, which is quite familiar with yourself. Talk to me about your acting career and that. How did that come about?
Yeah, it was a small role. With this cricket movie. It was quite good. It was cool, man. So I played a Barbados cricketer, a bowler, and it was good. It was about this superstar cricketer in the West Indies. His father was like a legend before him. He was caught up with match fixing and all those. It was a real interesting story. So you should check it out. Hit for Six.
Listen, I'll check it out. I'm gonna check it out. I love stuff like
Hit
that.
For Six. Yeah.
I'll give you my response and what I think of your acting future as well. You must have been comfortable in the role considering you were pretty much playing yourself. Barbados.
I was just playing myself.
2008.
It was quite easy to do, man.
2008, you take a plunge to India, and you go and play in the Indian Cricket League, which was like a rebel league, and you played for Mumbai. Talk to me about that experience.
That was an incredible experience, brother. Capital Dev reassured us that it was going to be sanctioned cricket. We went down there with the premise that we were going to be playing in the first T20 league in India. The crowds were like 60,000 people a night. It was jam-packed. You had the Lahore Bachelors. It was well organized. It was well structured. Unfortunately, the BCCI didn't write off on it, and then they started the IPL. So for me, that was one of the biggest disappointments because it was an incredible tournament, and I was just sad that it didn't take off. Unfortunately, I didn't get the opportunity to play in the IPL, but the ICL to me, brother, was amazing. We played against some great players, great atmosphere. I met some really amazing people, but it was a phenomenal experience playing with Brian Lara in the T20 franchise setup, and I had a good time. The people of India are amazing people. I love cricket in India. One of the most amazing places that you can ever go to play cricket. Never got the opportunity to play in Pakistan. When it was supposed to go in Pakistan, obviously you guys were banned, so we had to play Pakistan in the Caribbean. But yeah, Pakistan is one of those places I always wanted to tour, but I never got the opportunity to.
Yeah, no, I had Darren Sammy on an episode just previous, and he's obviously got a lot of love with Pakistan. He loves it over there. He's a big ambassador of cricket coming back to Pakistan. So we Pakistani people, we love him. You know, so many things. You know, you've had just to give a quick rundown of your stats. You know, you played in 25 Test matches, Tino. You took 57 Test wickets. You played in 26 ODIs, 34 wickets. You played in 121 first-class games, 330 first-class wickets, 13 5-wicket hauls. So for anybody that maybe says, you know, because your international career was a bit stop-start, you had great moments. You probably, you know, you were in and you had injuries, and you know there was stuff that went on with the West Indies board. It always strikes me as a tough place to play cricket, a bit like Pakistan. You know, it has a lot of politics. But your first-class career, man, it stems over a long period of time. You've played in England, for Hampshire, Yorkshire. You played in the Caribbean. To play that length of time with the kid, and I can vouch for you and say, I bet in all 121 first-class games, you ran in and bowled, tried to bowl as quick as you could every single game. Now that brings me to a little bit of a Twitter incident recently with a certain Jofra Archer. He took a bit of a disliking to you, suggesting that he wasn't trying to bowl quickly. I think he was playing in New Zealand at the time, you know, and I have to say I was watching the Test matches and I had the similar kind of, you know, feeling that this guy's rapid. He's a quick bowler. Why is he trying to bowl medium pace? And you kind of, I certainly took your tweets as you were encouraging and you were just saying, come on, man, get that fire back. But he didn't like it. And he came back and suggested that you should have messaged him, and you know, privately and stuff like that. And you came back and said, listen, man, blessings to you. I only want to see you do well. Talk to me about, you know, if I don't know if Jofra will ever listen to my podcast, but for the general public out there, tell me what your message really was there. You didn't mean bad there at all.
Nah, not at all. I mean, when I saw, like, watching him as well, I was like, yo, bro, like, I because I got him as right arm fast. Like, arm fast, he bowl 90 miles an hour all the time. But I keep saying all the time that England are bowl killing him. They're misusing him. They're just, like, grinding him in the ground and stuff. So when I made a tweet, it was the same New Zealand stuff, and I felt that he was bowling 128. And I didn't understand why he was doing that. So when I made a tweet and he came back, like, you know, him and his captain are not concerned, I said, yo, bro, I could see the line that this is going down. So I tried to nip it in the bud. Like, yo, I'm not taking shots. I just want to know that if you're right arm fast, I want you to remain right arm fast. I am a fan of fast bowling.
Yes.
I am a fan. First and foremost, I am a fan of cricket and cricketers. I love cricketers. So I just tried to nip it in the bud because you got to remember that a lot of young cricketers, when they come in the Barbados team or they play international cricket or they play West Indies or whatever, they're always going to be guys, factions in the teams that aren't going to like everyone. So every time you come in a team, a guy can say, oh, don't go wrong Tino because he don't talk to everybody, which is not the case. I come to do a job. I come to play cricket. So the people who were advising Joe for obviously said to him, look, I taking shots at him. And this tweet was like maybe 3 or 4 weeks old, you know, when he finally came back, because it was not a disrespectful tweet.
You must have been oh, what's happening? It's gone out of your head almost.
Yeah, it was out my head a long time. So I had to try to nip it in the bud, because sometimes people that are advising cricketers do not advise them in the best way. They might advise them as saying, don't let nobody take shots at you. If anybody takes shots at you, try and defend yourself, when that's not really the case. Because if you know my life or you know my career, you know I am a guy that have taken a lot of shots. A lot of people have disrespected me every single day, and I don't care. Sometimes I go at people. Sometimes I like say, you know what, wander on the bridge. But I think he's a phenomenal talent. Disappointing that West Indies didn't get the opportunity to use his talent in a good way. But you know, he's a good young man. I wish him all the best. I don't know how England are going to use him in the future. I hope they use him in the right way, and he could be great. I wish everybody to be great. This game, you only get 10 to 12 years to play this game if you're good. You know, so you need to use it at that time. After that, you got to come and live in the real world. You're not going to get those big checks anymore, and you have to work and to understand that this is the world that you live in, and just understand how people are. Generally, people are going to take shots at you. People are going to have their own opinion of you. What you need to do is just filter out the argumentative opinions that are going to make you want to argue, and just try to be open-minded about everything. So that's and I mean that this comment holistically to every young cricketer. As long as you go on TV, people will criticize you. People will have something to say about you. They're going to say, it's like, for instance, I remember in the Shell Academy. The Shell Academy was the last Shell Academy was in 2003. No, I did not come to the youth system to get the opportunity to go to the Shell Academy, which was in Grenada. When I was bowling for the West Indies, one of the coaches that was running the Shell Academy was Roger Harper, I think. Roger Harper. And the guys told me at the camp that he brought down my action. And he was critical. He absolutely laid into me. He said, I have the worst action. I should not be playing for West Indies with this action. But Roger Harper did not know nothing about me. He did not know my story. Yeah. He did not know why I was picked because I could have bowled at 92, 93 miles an hour. I never had a coach in my life. I never had a bowling coach in my life. But here is an academy coach criticizing a young 20, 21-year-old bowler who's playing for West Indies.
It's just raw. It
was just raw talent. No, I have seen Roger Harper on a million occasions. And Roger Harper has never, ever spoken to me. I think the man hates my guts for no apparent reason.
Come on, Roger. You and Tino need to have dinner one night.
You know what I mean? And it goes back to the point of what I'm trying to say to you. People are going to criticize you without knowing your story. It's something you have to live with. You got to put it at the back. You got to forget about it. And as my mother always say this, do not let anyone rank any space in your head for free. Meaning, forget about people. Don't let anyone live in your head for free. Why am I going to let Roger Harper live in my head? But I only remember him because of the whole Jofa situation and what I'm trying to say holistically. You just got to shut up people and work your butt off, brother. Work your butt off. So that is my thing when it comes to the Jofa. I wish the young man nothing but love and love to him and success to him.
Okay, we're coming towards the end. I got some final bits and pieces. My big question to you now, Tino Best, aka Ladies Man. You know, you've as they say, you've not been shy to quote that you've you like the ladies. You met quite. I'm not going to quote too much in case my mother's watching and she might get a bit annoyed with me. But you know, you met a lot of young ladies along your way. It's safe to say, traveling the world. At the start of this, I'm going to get you some brownie points. We had to stop recording about 2 minutes into this because you had to run to pick a delivery up from the front door, and you came back and you said, "Sorry, brother, the wife had a delivery. I had to go and get it." So is Tino Best? You know, he's a one-woman man now. Has he settled down? Are you, family man? You know, you've done all the traveling, done all the enjoyment. Are you settled down now? Are you just tell me?
Yeah, I'm more of a settled guy now, man. You know, I have a beautiful girlfriend. She's tremendous. And yeah, I mean, like when I was young, I mean, look, you're 20 years old, you're 20, 21, you're traveling the world, brother. You don't have any relationship or anything. You're gonna enjoy yourself, man. I mean, bowl fast on the pitch, Casanova at night. I mean, I loved it. I mean, for a while. I mean, like, I kind of like tapered it down when I hit like 28, 29. But during those years, I had a lovely time. I mean, in my book, I mean, I said I probably had about 500 or 600 women. I probably exaggerated a tad bit, but you know, I did have my fair share, like any other international cricketer who loves who loves the fame, who loves the nightlife. You know, we enjoy our lives, and at the end of the day, it comes to a point when you grow up. I'm going to be 40 next year.
Mm-hmm.
So you get to the point that you say to yourself, all right, enough is enough. So, you know, I've retired from that life a long time ago. So I enjoyed myself. I had my fair share of late night escapades. And I'm just chilling. My son is 20. I got a 20-year-old son.
Wow.
And an 8-year-old daughter. So, I mean, I need to be disciplined and be a good boy now.
Yeah, no, good. I'm glad to hear it, brother. I'm glad to hear it. Listen, some quick fire questions. Who's your favourite cricketer of all time?
Favorite cricketer of all times that I've played with is Brian Charles Lara.
My favourite. I didn't get the pleasure to play with the great man, but he was my hero. And you know, I would still watch a YouTube video of Brian Lara batting over any batsman batting now. But
my two favorite cricketers that I didn't play with is my uncle Carly Best and Wayne Daniel.
Wayne Daniel. Love it.
Yes,
love it. Who's your best friend in cricket?
Best friend in cricket that I play cricket with. I have 3 very close friends that I've played with that I absolutely love. I love Rashidi Boucher, that played for Barbados. Michael Carberry, that I played with.
Left-hander, great lad.
Boy. And I love Carl Greenwich. I play with my boy as well. So 3 of those are very close to me. I love Adam Holyoke. Adam Holyoke is very close to me as well. So those four are very, very close to me in terms of like having like really, really close mates in cricket.
Amazing. Who tell me who is Tino Best now? Where is your life now? What have you got in the future? What's your plans for the future? What's your goals?
Yeah, you know, my goals basically is to just become a real good strength and conditioning coach. I'm studying to be that. You know, there's a lot of reading. In the meanwhile, I have my own little personal fitness business that I do. I have about 10 or 12 clients that I train. Brian Lara is actually one of my clients now that we in COVID, that I train one-on-one with. And, you know, I love it. I love fitness. I love wellness. So that's my biggest passion, brother. We live on an island. It's always hot. It's always beach life. And you just want to look fit. You always want to eat clean. And you just want to be an awesome human being in terms of holistically from inside out. So I love fitness. That's from the military mindset that I always had. So I knew I had to go into it. I still love commentary. But commentary is a situation that, you know, is like pick and choose. The people pick who they like. And it goes like that. So once I get the opportunity to do my commentary, that is a bonus. But my passion really is fitness and wellness.
No, it's awesome to hear. Maybe in future you could write me a fitness plan or something like that. That'd be awesome. I would love to get over to Barbados for a holiday, and then you know.
No problem. Actually, I'm gonna send you. When we're finished, I'll send you a little small program that you can do at home to stay shredded.
Yeah, that would be awesome. That would be awesome.
So look, that's Tino, 2 things I gotta send for you.
That's 2 things. So you got to send me the article and that I'm going to check out for the movie. Listen, I would love to stay in touch with you. If you can maybe give me some introductions to some other guys. This is what I'm looking to do. I'm also keen to get into commentary with the Scottish cricket team moving forward. So you know, I would love to stay in touch with you, man. Honestly, you've been absolutely fantastic. You're such a genuine guy. The Caribbean has got some great people. You know, Darren Sammy episode came out recently. People loved him. He was an old teammate of mine, legend. You've been equally box office, man. And listen, you go and enjoy the rest of your day. I hope the weather changes and you get some Glasgow weather. And thanks again, Tino, man. Thanks again.
It's my pleasure, brother. And this is what we got to do. We got to spread love in our cricket community and also our community as well. And, you know, just show brotherly love to each and everybody. And, you know, at the end of the day, I've been given a brilliant opportunity to don the maroon cap and play for West Indies. And if my story can help inspire the next generation and inspire anyone that's going on right now. And, you know, finally, keep believing, keep fighting, keep believing that you're the greatest. You don't have to be the greatest because of stats. You've got to be the greatest human being that you can be. Peace and love, my brother. And
Peace and love.
Yes,
One
my
love,
brother.
brother.
Yeah, man.
Take
Cheers,
care,
boy.
man. Take care.
Yeah, man.